but you know what? We're going to be talking about a lot of MMA rumors over the next 4 weeks, so it'll be pretty fun.
Yeah.
But we really have to get down, and we have to talk about March Madness, because that's why I know stuff's going on in MMA right now, because they're not even going to be able to compete with what's going to go on for the next 3 weeks.
Dana's a good businessman, all in all. And Dana White told Strikeforce, you know what, go suck one. If you're not going to give me the control, keep making this mediocre product. Right. And by the way, everyone hates Gus Johnson. Right. Yeah. Now,
okay.
On to March
Madness. Don't forget, I'll say it again. Go to the front of this video again and the front of the video.
Actually, let me help him out. I'll go to the front page. What he's talking about is, for you people who have yet to sign up, go over to yahoosports.com, tournament pick'em, join a private group ID 32636. Password is subscribe. And if you win, we'll send you something.
Yes.
An autographed picture of myself.
Another simple way to get into the bracket this year, get into our pool, is just to go join our fan page. I'll post it up every couple days. The link, so you can just click on the link and join, and then you're in.
On FaceSpace?
On FaceSpace, bitches.
On my book?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And what's that new shit everybody's doing, man?
LinkedIn?
No, not LinkedIn. That shit's like old as dirt, man.
LinkedIn? But that's for business. That's for grown folks. Stop sending me that branched out bullshit on Facebook.
That other shit everybody's doing, the pinner. Somebody's gonna get it. Pinner with the pin.
Okay.
Fuck it.
You know what my biggest problem is right now? Mm-hmm. And this is another thing I wanted to post, but I can't find out how creative Instagram. You know how they sit there and they say beer helping white people dance since 19. Let me tell you right now, Instagram makes all you ugly motherfuckers remotely attractive. I don't know how it does it. I don't know what it does, but stop that shit. If you're ugly, don't use Instagram, because that shit, that's fucked up. Because I'm sure, I bet you go to Match.com and other dating sites, there's that big beefy bitch with an Instagram going just like this. Yeah, no, stop fucking with Instagram.
Yeah.
Bunch of bullshit.
Now, brackets.
Deceptive bitches.
Let's talk about the South.
Dirty.
That would be in the dirty South. Petey Pablo. Boom, boom, boom.
That's got Kentucky as the number one, right?
Yeah. Now you got Kentucky is in your brackets. Will be in the upper left hand corner. You got Kentucky as the number 1 seed, and you got Duke as the number 2 seed.
Well, let's talk on those two.
Okay.
All right. Me personally, I think Kentucky's coach said it the best. After they lost to Vanderbilt, Calipari sat there and said, "We are our own worst enemy."
Right.
Right now, we have this attitude that we can show up on the court, and because we're Kentucky, we're going to win. Let me tell you right now, it's not going to work in this tournament.
Yeah.
They're going to go up against a hungry young team, and they're going to get run off the court.
Right. And I tell you what, they are in the toughest bracket region right now. I mean, you've got Duke, you've got Baylor.
See,
Baylor's nasty.
I got Baylor beating Kentucky actually in one of my brackets. But I'm gonna tell you right now, like, people are sold on this Duke thing. Duke is not built to win this tournament. And the reason I say that is Duke is a team built on outside shooting. Outside shooting is not what wins you this tournament.
No.
You need a post presence, and you need to be able to rebound.
You're exactly
Duke
right.
will get past the first round, and I'm going to tell you what, as soon as they start shooting 3 of 15,
they have
20,
one night off of shooting, they're fucked.
It's a wrap. And that's what happens. Go look at Duke the last couple years. That's
It will be over with. I mean, you got a lot of good teams, man. I mean, Indiana's in this bracket. You got the running Rebels are back up in some shit.
Woo!
Them motherfuckers are 6th seed up in the South. The running UNLV, man. I'm happy to see them back in the tournament. But out of the South, who do you got coming out of the South in the Final Four?
I think it was Baylor.
You got Baylor?
Yeah. Because I go for upsets. I
got Kentucky.
In one of them, I got Kentucky, and another one, I got Baylor.
Now, let's go down to the West, where you've got
Wild
Michigan State,
West.
Tom Izzo. You know Tom Izzo likes to fucking play.
Oh, and Tom Izzo's been here time and time again. This is not new to him.
It is not new to him. I mean, he's been in the Final Four several times. They're the number 1 seed in the South, and the number 2 seed is Missouri. And Mizzou looked awesome towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
They looked really strong. They came on really good. Then you had Marquette, which comes out of the Big East. They're nasty. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, it's funny because the Big East the last 2 years really hasn't showed up to the tournament. So you kind of skeptical to pull these teams, but they do play the most ranked teams. I mean, they go up against studs every freaking week.
Now,
and go ahead.
And I know Kerry and I had this conversation last year, and he was convinced that
Kerry's a good buddy of ours.
Right. Kerry's convinced that the tournament does not prove how good or bad your division is. And I disagree, because if that was the case, then why does the Big East get so many damn teams in? Because they're the best division. Okay, that's your theory, but how many teams in the Big East made it out of the Sweet 16 last year?
Right.
And until they win a national title and get into the Final Four, I don't give a shit how well you do in the regular season. Because to me, the regular season don't count for shit. This tournament is what counts.
Yeah, I think they're starting to really clear that up this year, because I tell you where you saw it, and I'll touch on this really quick. What's in the Pac-10? The Pac-10 was weak as shit, and Washington, I think lost 4 games and won the Pac-10, and they won the Pac-10. They did not win the tournament, but they won the Pac-10, the division, and they did not get into the fucking dance. Them motherfuckers are not dancing. They're couching and remoting. And drinking beers at the local bar, like I will be doing on Thursday
and Friday.
But anyway,
alcoholic.
What were you getting ready to say?
I'll be interested to see how many Big East teams are alive in the Sweet 16, and I might put, they might surprise me this year. But I got Georgetown losing in the second round. I got Marquette. I think I had Marquette losing.
And
you
know
what's
funny? Georgetown is the kind of team
that could possibly. No, I got Marquette losing the second round.
Georgetown is the type of team that, if they came and played their A game, you could see them easily in the Final Four. They could fucking roll over people, because they've beat some of the best teams in the country, but then they just lose to, well, not the Cincinnati's a pushover, because they're a great team, but they just lose to teams that you just don't expect them to lose to. Now let's work our way over to the East region.
Who you got coming out of the West?
Out of the West?
You got Michigan State?
No, I got Missouri.
Do you?
I got Missouri.
I got Michigan State coming out there. And the reason I give them the nod is because of Tom Izzo.
You know what? I thought that too. I'm thinking, Tom Izzo, and maybe I'll have him in another bracket. But I just, it's funny. 99, 2000, and 2001 is strong, and then he's faded since then. Like, he's had a little bit of struggles. I mean, they get into the big dance.
As Kevin would say, I think this is his year to totally redeem.
He's got to. Georgia said he's going to totally redeem himself.
I'm gonna tell you what. To me, this one seed. This number one seed is gonna exit the tournament before any other number one seed out there.
And they've had such a good seed. But you know what's funny? I was looking at things today, and we're moving on to the East region, and Syracuse is the number one seed. I'm looking at things today, and I'm going, fucking Syracuse did not play a whole lot of teams that were ranked. I mean, they just didn't. Like Georgetown, stacked with ranked teams. Carolina, Kentucky, yeah, but I mean, I'm telling you, see, some of these teams you look at that aren't the top seeds had a lot of ranked opponents. You know what I'm saying? And they caught the L, so they ended up falling. Their seeding, their seed.
I got Ohio State coming out of this bracket.
It's another tough bracket. You got Ohio State sitting at the number 2 seed.
You got Wisconsin and Vandy, and Vanderbilt just beat Kentucky.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you who I think is really strong coming out here, who's looked really fucking impressive lately. I hope they didn't blow their wad at the ACC tournament. It's Florida State.
Oh, yeah, them and NC State both.
And I think they're a well-coached team, and I think they're looking good. If they can continue to roll and they didn't burn themselves out in the tournament, I think they have a chance of getting into the Final Four. Now,
so who do you have coming out of there, the East?
Syracuse. That's some fucked up shit. I mean,
they could.
They could.
They got the little number one next to their name.
And this is why,
right?
Because when I look at the top of that bracket, there's nothing. Everything's on the bottom, like Cincinnati.
When Syracuse plays against that nothing Vanderbilt or that nothing Wisconsin, they're going to lose.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. That's the thing. I think Syracuse has one hard game. You look at the bottom of this bracket, and you got Cincinnati at the bottom, Florida State at the bottom, Gonzaga at the bottom, West Virginia, Ohio State. You got all these teams. Who do you have up top? Syracuse has Vanderbilt
and Wisconsin.
Wisconsin couldn't even.
Okay.
I just don't. I think because of that, they might get lucky by default. Who knows? Anyway, moving
to the Midwest.
Yeah.
UNC, who I have winning the whole damn thing. So
yeah.
That puts them all the way through the final and winning it.
Yeah. UNC, you've got Kansas also at the number 2 seed. You've got
you know what?
Georgetown at the 3 seed.
Where's Maryland? Did Maryland
just not no.
Did they make it to the NIT?
Why you want to make me cry?
No, I'm just asking.
Huh?
So they're not in tournament and they're not in this tournament. So what are they?
The double not in tournament.
And all their football players left the school. You got problems down in fucking College Park.
Terps. I think with Randy Ansel. Well, anyway, that'll be another show. But anyway, Georgetown sitting at the number 3 seed. You got Michigan and you got at 4 and Temple at 4.
San Diego State.
I'm with you though, George. I don't think. I think when I look at things, I think North Carolina actually. Well, Kansas is good, but I think that
I think they got it easy.
Now, I'm going to tell you this. I could see an old rematch of fucking 82 finals. Was that when Carolina played Georgetown?
Okay.
I think it was the 82. I don't know when it was. But I think if Georgetown came on and plays Carolina, I think that can pose Carolina a problem.
It'll be interesting.
Those boys can run.
I don't see Georgetown getting past Kansas.
Yeah.
If they even make it that far. Because I'm going to tell you what.
I think they're going to have problems against NC State if they have to
or San Diego State.
Yeah.
The San Diego State team is athletic. They get up and down the floor and they run.
Yeah, and Georgetown they literally went their last 6 games they went 500.
I tell you what, the team that I want to see do the best out of this whole tournament, there's 2. Baylor and Murray State.
Yeah.
Those 2 teams right there, I just want to see them do well.
Do you know that no team from Texas has ever won the Big 12 tournament, basketball tournament?
You telling me the year the Texas Longhorns almost made it to
there's no team, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody out there, but
you said
I believe
Big 12?
The Big 12 tournament. Yeah, look it up, check it out. I could be wrong. Now, rolling out of March Madness, we're going to talk about, which is another fucking hot topic.
Free agency in the NFL.
Free agency. Now,
go ahead. The NFL season starts on Tuesday.
It does start on Tuesday. Now, right. We're taping Monday night, so anything could have developed. Obviously, free agency starts tomorrow. Stuff happens fast in the NFL. I mean, by the time this video is up, there probably already will be some transactions.
I'm gonna tell you what. According to the almighty Wikipedia, from '97 to 2012, no team from Texas has won.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? No team from Texas. And you know how many teams from Texas are in the Big 12 have won the Big 12? The Big 12
championship games, win-loss record. Texas is 0-6. Texas Tech is 0-1, and Texas A&M never made it.
Yep. And then Baylor's another team. They haven't. Yeah, I got my shit right, man. Anyway, for NFL free agency, the big thing. This shit is crazy. Now, real quick, the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins just lost some serious fucking cap space. With the collective bargaining agreement and everything, they lost. They loaded their front end of their contracts and it fucked them up. I think Dallas lost $10 million in cap space. The Redskins lost like $36 million. They are fucked. I mean, they can spread it over a couple of years and they can distribute it between all the other teams, but basically they're fucking getting bent over. NFL free agency, the big talk obviously is where's Peyton Manning going to end up?
Denver.
Where the hell do you think he's going to end up?
Denver or Miami?
Now I'm starting to think he could end up in Miami.
Denver or Miami?
Yeah, because he went and talked to Miami, and he also went to Tennessee today. If you were Peyton Manning, where would you want to go?
Miami or Denver.
Yeah.
But you know what my biggest problem with Denver right now? Denver's got 2 defensive players who had unhuman urine in their piss tests. DJ Williams and a defensive end.
Yeah, that's just
what did you do?
Yeah. Now speaking of Williams.
Now hold on.
Okay.
If you're Peyton Manning, where do you go and why? I'm going to Denver because I'm assuming Reggie Wayne's coming, and I'm going to be able to convince Dallas Clark.
I'm gonna go. If I am Peyton Manning, I am going to go to Miami, and I'm going to go to Miami because I'm familiar. You know, obviously I have a condo down there. My family would be comfortable there. It's warm weather. It's fucking nice. It's not fucking cold. Denver. I don't care what anybody says. If he has a bad fucking game, they're going to start talking about. You're going to have all those Tebow fanatics talking about put.
Oh
Tebow
no, come on now. You know Tebow's gone.
Yeah, I mean, well, wherever he goes, if he goes or whatever, it's just I don't think that I don't know. I mean, the problem is with Miami, you're dealing with a new coach. So I mean, you know,
the coach's name is Peyton Manning.
Yeah, and but I think Manning can come in there. They've got a young defense. I think I would go. I would be a Miami Dolphin if I was Peyton Manning.
I'd go to whichever team that I think has a better defense.
Yeah, he's near. Go ahead.
Miami's got Brandon Marshall. So you put Brandon Marshall and Reggie Wayne together with Dallas Clark?
Yeah.
I mean, if Peyton Manning can convince Reggie Wayne and Dallas Clark to come with him,
yeah,
dude, he's going to walk in with 2 players he can just look at and be like, and they know what to do. I mean, that's going to give him an advantage. My only problem with both teams have what I would consider suspect running games. Mm-hmm. Now, Reggie Bush just had the career season between the tackles, and I'm not knocking him for that because I'm the first person to jump down Reggie Bush's shit, but he just had a great season.
Right.
But when Willis McGahee was your leading rusher in Denver or one of your top running backs in Denver, that's not. Yeah, I'd have to go to a team with a strong running game and a strong defense, and I just
and a fucking nice offensive line.
Yeah, because Arizona's out.
I'm going to tell you what,
109 sacks.
Peyton Manning has to really really look at that and look at who has room to maybe bring in some depth to their offensive line. Because let me tell you something. What happens, okay, when that left fucking tackle goes out?
I can tell you.
Huh?
42 and hot. He's going to be out in Arizona going, yeah, welcome to the Peyton Manning passing camp. I used to play. You saw me for the Colts. I wore 18. I have 18 wheels on my chair. 6-speed. Bitch, I got dubs. Who wants some? I'm racing all day.
You have a valid point. Yeah,
I'm not kidding. Like, y'all might think that's fucked up, but and no bullshit. Neck injuries, fuck that.
He could be a fucking rock throw away from Stephen Hawkins, Jordy. Just saying.
Wow.
Anyway, let's move on.
Speaking of Stephen Hawkins. Did you hear about that motherfucker?
No. Dude, that might be a good way to end the show. Holy shit.
That was a transformer, dude.
Did you hear it blow up?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Here, since we're still taping, because in reality, it never. What I was saying, Stephen Hawkins. We're leaving that in the show, by the way. Stephen Hawkins has a thing for strippers.
What?
Strippers.
What
Women,
the fuck is...
women with plastic shoes.
Strippers.
Strippers. He liked to go to the script club.
We actually had a massive fucking
Transformer just blew. That's why everything went black.
Transformer up the street.
And we ain't talking about Autobots or
or
Decepticons.
Megatron or fucking, Optimus Prime's not fucking getting ready to do a guest appearance on our show. But moving on and getting out of the Peyton Manning story, going on to Mario Williams, because the Texans could not franchise tag that mug at $22 million, and now he is going to be a hot commodity.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, there might be a problem with his titties still.
I know.
They're talking about that. He had a pec tear, and the teams are going to be a little leery of that.
Right.
I'm going to tell you where I'd love to see him.
Huh?
I'd love to see him wearing green. And I'd move him straight to linebacker because we got none.
Yeah, he is. Now, there's the defensive end out of Seattle, Red Bryant. What do you think?
I'm skipping right past him and the New Orleans. I'm going right to Mike Williams and Matt Flynn because I'm not going to be surprised. And then Mike Tolbert.
What about now? Okay. What about Mike Wallace?
Mike.
Dude, what do you think is going to happen with Mike Wallace out of Pittsburgh?
Depends on who's throwing money at him. Depends who's throwing money at him because Pittsburgh obviously not.
He's only 26.
I mean, he is
a
restricted.
Pro Bowl player.
So, when you're a restricted free agent, that means the team can match the offer.
Yep.
So I'm gonna tell you what, depending on what the offer is matched at.
Mm-hmm. Now, to me, the next guy, obviously taking Peyton Manning out of the equation, Matt Flynn.
He had one good game.
Yeah.
And people are just drooling
over him. Yeah. And I was talking to Melvin because he's like, I'd like to see him in Seattle. And I thought, yeah, Matt Flynn is good. But then I think a lot about it. I'm like going, okay, is it the system? Because let me tell you something. Those boys up there in Green Bay, you saw he came in for Aaron Rodgers and just rocked it that last game against Detroit. Now, let's look at this. Remember when Shanahan had those running backs? You saw this year the Redskins running backs. You had a rookie running back plugging in. Tim Hightower went out. Bring in Halou, bring in this guy. He did it in Denver when he had all those running backs and stuff. Sometimes you just have a great system and anybody can come in and it's just plug and play.
Yeah, but I think quarterback's a little bit different. I think
there's
some
you got to be
intangibles about it.
intelligent.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Matt Flynn do well because he went to LSU.
Right.
So I hope wherever he lands. Me personally, I'm staying right to fucking Green Bay.
Yeah.
I'll hold the clipboard and collect them rings.
Well, he could end up in Cleveland because they obviously don't want Colt McCoy. He could end up in
Cleveland
Miami.
Steamers.
The Cleveland Steamers. And he could end up in Miami or Seattle. So, I mean, Mike Tolbert.
Yeah, it'll be. To me, he's a third down back.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He was rolling last year. He was doing a lot of stuff. Now this guy.
This is the one I'm sure you were just smiling ear to ear about.
Mm-hmm. But okay, Vincent Jackson, and I think right out of the gates, everybody thought, you know what, the Skins have the cap room, they can do it and make it happen. Now we're just watch some of that cap room evaporate, and you also got Peyton Manning sitting back and going, hey, you know what, I could throw to you, you know.
Is he willing to take a pay cut to go play with Peyton?
That's the thing. Everybody says if he comes to Washington and gets a big payday, I mean, he's not the youngest fucking guy either. He'll be 29 this year. So, I mean, I'll be the first one to say Daniel Snyder, will pay him the money. But I tell you what, Bruce Allen is a completely different person, man. That's how you got all those. That's how we had 6 or 7 picks this year. People didn't realize that. People are like, oh, you gave up a lot. I'm like going, let me tell you something. This guy is not fucking Vinny Serrato.
I still think in my opinion, I still think the Redskins gave up a whole lot for what I would consider an unproven player.
Yeah, but the thing is this: you've got to. You're looking at as an owner and a GM and
money.
Fans. No. You're also looking at people going, if they didn't make a move, what fucked them was Cleveland got in the bidding war. So now they had to fucking up the ante. But if they don't do that, everybody's sitting back going, what the fuck are we going to do at quarterback now? Who are we going to fucking get?
Here's what I don't understand. If Cleveland got into that bidding war, they obviously had more firepower than Redskins because they had 2 first-round picks this year. Mm-hmm. So how could you... As the overlook that, I'd been like 2 first-round picks this year, 3%. I'd have gone with Cleveland just because. But I guess they threw in that third. I'm guessing that's why they had to throw in that 3rd first-round pick.
Mm-hmm. Because the way which they look at it is like, okay, now we got an extra 3rd-round pick down the road. Okay, the Skins look at it like, okay, let's forget the second because everybody knew the Redskins were going to get up 2 years of first rounds. I mean, we swapped one out. We were going to give up another year and probably a 2nd round this year, which we didn't give a shit about because we had 6 or 7 picks this year. But the big thing is where it became an issue was 2014, that other first round we gave up. But this is what they're thinking: we could take that first round, St. Louis, and trade it. The Skins are thinking, I hope that our franchise is a successful enough franchise. And this is Bruce Allen saying that those picks will be somewhat irrelevant because they'll be at the end of the draft board. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or we'll be able to do something. And because where were the Redskins 2 years ago before Bruce Allen came in, right as he came in? They were a fucking mess. They had no draft picks. You saw what he built up over there. So I'm sure he's thinking, I'll be able to swap some shit out and do something.
Some other names that jump out at me is Cortland Finnegan from playing in a fantasy league last year that had individual defensive players. This dude was scoring more points than my running backs. Yeah. He likes to come up and tackle. He's not a Deion Sanders.
Right.
Another name that jumps out is Alex Smith with the 49ers.
Yeah.
They haven't signed him. One like they're going to, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
Reggie Wayne, Brandon Lloyd.
Reggie Wayne kind of scares me. I feel like he's getting on. I feel like if he goes somewhere where Peyton Manning's not throwing to him, that could be a problem.
But you almost have to assume Reggie Wayne's going to go with Peyton.
Yeah.
Brandon Lloyd is kind of an enigma. He kind of shows up sometimes, doesn't show up other times. He's very wishy-washy, if you will.
Marquise Colston, you got Drew Brees was throwing to him, and he was throwing to him where you had they fucking in the craziest offense ever.
And Robert Meacham. So Brees has got potential to lose 2 targets.
Yeah.
And Manningham's already said he's gone from the Giants. And then last but certainly not least, Pierre Garçon.
Yeah.
You think he goes with Peyton?
No.
Now, here's the X factor, I think, in all of this free agency stuff. Where does Randy Moss end up?
Randy Moss.
Tried out for the Saints. Said he looked phenomenal. Harbaugh's going to be throwing the ball to him when he's out there in the 49ers because Alex Smith can't. They'd be breaking an NFL rule. Mm-hmm. So
where do I think he ends up?
Where's he going to end up?
I think that he's to me.
If you're Randy Moss, where do you go? Let me put it that way.
If I'm Randy Moss, I'm basically going to go to New Orleans. And I'm playing in the Dome, similar to what was going on in Minnesota. I got a guy that loves to throw, an offense that is based on passing. I got the guy that can throw me the ball. I can put that fucking hand up. And now they're going to probably lose Meacham or fucking the other guy. So, yeah, I'm going to New Orleans. I'm not taking my chances in San Francisco, playing up in Kansas where it's all damp and moist and you lose speed. He's got a vertical game, man. He's fast. And then inside, I think Randy Moss is going to be able to,
old Minnesota-type days.
Yep.
Go up and moss them in the end zone.
Yep.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them, but right now I'm going to be – that's the other thing we didn't touch on. How hard are the Saints about to get their hands smacked? Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I was talking to a dude at work. He's like, you want to make an example of the Saints? Mm-hmm. First off, you basically annihilate you almost annihilate their draft. You find the coach, and you ban Greg Williams from the NFL.
Now, if they ban, people don't realize that for what New Orleans has talent-wise on the defensive side of the ball, Greg Williams made shit happen. I mean, he, all of a sudden, if you don't have
he's
a defense,
gone. He's now with Jeff Fisher out in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So he was like, if you want to send a message, if you ban Greg Williams, I think the penalty needs to come down on Greg Williams and Sean Payton.
Yeah.
The hardest. I understand you're going to find the team and take draft picks, which.
I'd say you probably suspend Payton for a few games next season, and then you fucking.
How many's a few?
4.
I was thinking half a season.
Yeah.
I was thinking 8.
Yeah.
You want to play that game. You want to act all coy and act like you didn't know what was going on. You get 8, and Gary Williams gets the whole year off.
Let me tell you something. This is the thing. There's still a lot of sympathy about New Orleans, the town of New Orleans, and so I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Like you guys will think. I mean, I'm being dead serious when I say this. What Drew Brees came after Katrina. It's like the Saints saved that town. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at what LeBron did for Cleveland. Towns that were just fucked up. You know, and all of a sudden it's like, there goes our football program. You know, don't think that won't be part in the equation. Just a little bit. Goodell's ass will be thinking about that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. That dude tends to cowboy up.
Yeah.
And that's my problem with Goodell, because Goodell's the judge, jury, and executioner on these things.
Yeah.
They need to get a panel in and rein his power in. He's a trip.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think commissioners of all sports leagues should be like presidents. You get a 4-year run, then you get voted on. You can get one more term. After that, you're gone.
It's a wrap.
8 years tops. Bye. See ya. Kick rocks, pound sand. Motherfucker, move dirt.
Get skipping.
Yep.
Yeah. Just like us right now.
Deuces.
See you. Bye.